Good morning class. Today we are going to discuss about your next topic, that is plants growing in marshy areas. In earlier lectures we have discussed about the adaptations in plants shown in the plains and in mountain regions. Now we are going to discuss about the plants adaptation in marshy areas. First of all, what is marshy areas? In marshy areas, the soil is wet and there is this clay which is present in the soil. That's why the water stays in that soil and water does not drain out from that soil. Because of that, the soil is very damp. Damp means that it is very wet and there is no air or lack of air is there. So, how do plants breathe in that air? How do their roots breathe in that air and how do plants survive in the marshy areas? For this, let us take an example of mangrove tree, which is found in Sundarban areas. Mangrove tree has breathing roots and it grows in the marshy areas. Now, what are breathing roots? Breathing roots are those roots which come out from the soil so that the plant can breathe. You know that the plants breathe through the roots, right? They also breathe through the stomata, but they also breathe through the roots. So, when in marshy areas, the tree remains submerged in the wet soil, what happens is their roots come out on the surface and through which they breathe. Those roots are called breathing roots. For example, mangrove tree, which grows in the Sundarban areas. Next one is plants that grow in coastal areas. In coastal areas, the environment is hot, wet and windy and the soil is very salty. For example, the areas around the beaches and the sea and the ocean, those areas are considered as coastal areas. The tree growing in the coastal areas are very tall. They have feather-like leaves. For example, palm tree or coconut tree. They grow in the coastal areas. Their crown is like feathers so that the wind can pass through them. For example, the coconut tree. Coconut tree is somewhat like this. The coconut tree is like this. The crown area, that is the leaf area, is having feather-like leaves which allow the winds to pass through them, and they are very tall, which grows in the hot, wet and windy environment. In this lecture, we have completed your plants growing in the coastal areas and marshy areas. In the marshy areas, mangrove tree grows which have breathing roots so that the plant can survive in the wet or damp soil. Next one is in the coastal areas, for example, your palm tree and coconut tree, which grows in the hot, wet and windy air. And the crown of the coconut tree is like feathers which allow the wind to pass through them. They are very tall and straight. Okay, class, this will be all for today. Thank you for listening.